We're beginning the year in a rather turbulent manner. And do you predict more turbulence?
Yes, the early declaration of the Vice President will certainly create the turbulence you are referring to. And the situation of our economy aggravates the kind of political turbulence that we will be facing with.
You know, Attorney Kaufman said that the prosecution's presentation was as worthless as the devalued peso. That was a political dig, right?
Yes. His opening remarks from day one has really been zeroing into Filipino psyche and Filipino culture. I am surprised that he is very conversant of how Filipinos react and behave.
Okay, well, some pundits might say, Malu, no, that Attorney Kaufman's also speaking to Filipinos because of course, 2026 is shaping up to be a very turbulent year for politics. But of course, we already know that VP Sara made an early announcement that she will run in 2028. We just also read a report that the NUP said or that they will not all be supporting the impeachment. Medyo magulo sila right
Medyo
now.
malabo sila.
Malabo.
Malabo.
But, yun nga eh. But says, I wanted
They're
to
trying
point...
to parse how their position,
Oo,
pero
parang right now namamangka sa dalawang ilog.
Oo, parang ganon.
But because Malu also wrote an editorial the other day and she said fragmentation will favor Vice President Duterte, whereas coalition will make her more vulnerable. What
can you elaborate?
can you elaborate? And are you
Yeah.
seeing that fragmentation?
I was surprised initially of the position taken by NUP and that it has to be explained by Congressman Ronnie Puno. I thought that was sealed. And then today we have various members saying a different tune. I think we will see before Monday certain political parties meeting and figuring out how they will be acting on Monday, whether they'll be very active at the Justice Level Committee or just wait for the plenary. So we will see definite changes and certain political party positions that will be made as we hit Monday. And that, yes, consolidation would be a problem for the Vice President because that would mean all political parties would be joining forces, whereas fragmentation would lead to his base solidifying.
And it's too early to say whether it will lead to fragmentation or consolidation.
If you look at the way they are signaling, they meaning the political parties, it would appear that they are reacting, and they have been reacting since she announced her decision or intention to run. So my sense is they are looking at how the public will come in the fray, considering her strength really belongs to the ordinary Filipinos, not to a political party, because she's not a member of any political party right now. So the signaling would be both for the oligarch-backed political parties, as well as those who have terms that allows them to run for 2028.
Okay, but would an alliance of the BBM administration and the traditional opposition not be far-fetched?
It's going to be very hard, as you very well know. When you talk of alliance, you need the rules of engagement. When you say the pink, the yellow, and the Makabayan will be joining forces with the Marcoses, the main trigger points there would be how would they be alliance partners, like what former Senate President Frank Drilon said. It all begins with how do we ensure that we are able to field a competitive candidate and that the alliance will hold.
When you're talking about coalitions, of course, we also see one forming over of the different groups of the so-called opposition, whichever group you might think is the opposition. They're all kind of uniting right now. Do you think this will hold, especially if they do decide to form a coalition with the ruling party or the administration or BBM's party at that? And how do you think people, the voting public, given na nagbabago na kasi, puro Gen Z na ngayon at dadami pa by 2028, how will that change the landscape, Malu?
Sean, you're correct, no? 60% of the total registered voters belong to Gen Z. And by 2028, they will be, I think, voting for the second time. So it's interesting how they will define 2028 and what the issues that they hold dear as compared to millennials, Gen X, even the senior citizens. So critical talaga. Critical talaga si Gen Z.
Okay. Gusto kong ipasok yung disclosure of these bribes, the parang mind-boggling amount of supposedly saldico to senators and even the president. What do you make of that?
Well, when I heard of it, I was so surprised because it practically strengthened the position made by the earlier Marine Gutesa. So it collaborated Gutesa, and the staggering number of luggages.
Yeah, 13,000
As well.
something.
Oo, di ba? Tapos yung
May
paggamit
mabibili ka bang
ng-
13,000 pala sa luggage sa Pilipinas?
Sa tingin ko, plinano. Kaya syndicated activity eh. Biro mo kasama pa ang helicopter at saka aeroplano. It's a very well-planned distribution system. Never before seen in Philippine politics.
Sabi ni Yusek Claire, palitan nyo yung script, hindi mali ang script.
Hindi award-winning.
Hindi award-winning.
Hindi mo naman kailangan maging award-winning. Ang kailangan lang nilang i-rebut, totoo bang may pera, yung maleta, totoo bang tinanggap? Kasi may mga addresses eh. At saka may mga resibo yung Marines. So, kung pangit yung script, para mong pinuput down yung mga security ni Repco. Pero hindi nila dinideny yung pondo. Doon ako nagtataka dahil they should confront the issue. And the issue really is the distribution of money. Are these kickbacks? Are these part of the for later release? Are these, there's so many permutations of what it could be, but they never denied the distribution of the same.
Well, at least that's now with the ombudsman, so we'll of course be monitoring kung anong gagawin ng office na yon. But next week, March 2, Monday, we'll be starting to hear the House Justice Committee debating on the form and substance on the 4 impeachment complaints against VP Sara. Malu, given the many events of this week, what are you going to be watching out for during those hearings come Monday next week?
Well, one is how the decorum of the committee, which is very different from the first impeachment. The fact that they were not able to translate it immediately to the Senate is already like a red flag. That it will stay with the committee until they are able to put together the charges that will hold in a hearing. Form is easy. Substance, you will just have to be fair because the way they ruled on the impeachment against the president, it was clinical and there was no mention of evidence. So it never really got deeper at the committee level. I think this impeachment with the vice president, because the intent is really to remove her, I think the fourth impeachment will be the new information being introduced, which is essentially the bank accounts and the SALN.
Now, on the other hand, a discussion and a public airing of all these can harm the vice president.
I don't necessarily agree, Cesa, kasi she has already been battered, rammed, destroyed, less than a year in office.
But if bank accounts are open, for instance, and reveal some wrongdoing,
Oh,
of course,
definitely.
I'm speculating here, but yes.
Definitely. But the problem with the bank accounts is you will have to wrestle with the legal and technical issues of prying open a private account.
Your thoughts on the Madriaga affidavit, which is also part of that fourth complaint that was endorsed by, of course, members of the NUP as well?
Sa akin, Sean, Madriaga is a polluted source.
Isn't Mike Defensor also one? I'm referring
Well-
to him and his involvement with the former soldiers.
At least Mike Defensor is not in jail. Second, he's standing for what he truly believes in and supporting the 18 security personnel. That he is standing up on corruption. I think is more telling than comparing him to Madriaga.
All right. We thank you once more for your time and your insights, political strategist Malu Tiquia.